Win Best in Show. This is our review of The Finest Fish.
The Finest Fish is a tile placement game about placing scales to make the most beautiful fish. And I like how this is another game that appears more simple than it really is.
Simple mechanics and a fun player board make this a swimmingly good time. We'll tell you all about it after this quick how to play.
The Finest Fish is played over a series of rounds, with each player taking one turn per round.
On their turn, players will choose scales from the draft pool and then place them on their fish, trade them in, or spend them for objective cards.
The objective cards show patterns that will earn player points if they accomplish the pattern on their fish.
Once a player completely covers their fish in scales, the remaining players will take their turn, and then the game ends.
Players add up their points from their objective cards, scale clusters, and black scales. The player with the most points wins.
We were sent a copy of The Finest Fish from last night's game so that we could do this review video.
If you'd like to find out more or buy a copy, check out our links in the description below.
This game is a tile placement game that's all about making beautiful fish, and of course it has awesome player boards. So these are the player boards, and you're going to take the scales, which are your tiles, and you're going to put them on the player board in order to make the most beautiful fish. And I love the look of this game. I love the mechanics because it's a simple tile placement game with a little bit of strategy in there that really make it a little bit more fun. But just the overall table presence of these fish, I just love everything about it.
One thing I really like is the production value, because I'm sure we're going to be touching these a lot, moving it around. So it's really thick cardboard, so probably isn't going to bend or resist bending too much. So I really like that. And the fish are just cute. You could just sit over here and
Even though it's a tile placement game and you're just placing scales on fish, there's still a lot of strategy that goes into it, because you're going to choose from the draft pool, which has 3 scales, and then you choose which set of 3 scales that you want to take, and then you can place them on your fish. You can trade them in on the Goldfish bowl for different scales, or you could sell them for objective cards. And the objective cards are going to be one of the big ways that you can earn points. So you have to make the objective card on your fish. So for this one, I'd need 2 orange at the bottom and then an orange with the rainbow scale look on top of it. And if I form that in my fish, then I'll get points from this objective cards. And you can accomplish as many objective cards as you want, and that's a big way that you'll get points. You can also get points from creating scale clusters. So clusters on your fish of the same scale type in groups, you add up how many there are. And every black scale will also get you an additional point as well. Black scales in the Goldfish community are really treasured, so that's why those give you points. So I like the theming with the tile placement. I like all the mechanics that go involved. Even though this game appears simple, there's a lot more to it.
You know how they say goldfish have short memories? I kind of felt that way starting to play this game, because I was only focused on objectives, and then, get your scales, objectives. I thought it was like, oh, this is so simple. And when I look over and I see you kind of putting the same colors together and doing that, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot it's the scale clusters too. So if you try and go all objectives, then you're not going to probably get a lot of scale clusters. So there's going to be just a balance of, if you did scale clusters, you're going to earn a certain amount of max points. So try and do both if you can.
This game plays really quickly. It's determined by when someone fills up their fish. So if you have a lot of players who are trading in, trying to get objective cards, it could take a little bit while longer. However, if you have one player that's always placing scales on their fish, maybe even sometimes placing all 3 scales on their fish, then the game could go a little quicker. A lot of the times in games that I play, one of my strategies is always end the game as quickly as possible if it's determined by the players and not determined by a round counter or something like that. So I'm always like, all right, how quickly can I end this game while still getting the max amount of points? Put pressure on the other players to also have to think quickly as well.
Overall, I had a lot of fun with this seemingly simple but complex game. I love the scales and the theming and everything, and I just had a lot of fun playing it really quick. So I'll probably give this a 7.
Overall, I enjoy a lot about this game. It's a fun tile placement. It's simple, so kids can play it, but there is some complexity there depending on which strategies you go after. So I liked all the different things that you can think about while playing this game. And of course, I love the fish. So overall, I'm also going to give it a 7. And that was our review of The Finest Fish.
What'd you think? Did our review tip the scales towards you buying this game? Let us know in the comments below.
We'd like to thank Last Night Games one more time for sending us a copy so that we could do this review. If you'd like to find out more information or buy a copy, go ahead and check out the links in our description below. And if you're enjoying our content, please like this video and subscribe to our channel.
Until next time, I'm Lee.
And I'm Kenny. I go party like a board gamer.